a husband came to our doorstep one night, and I had to run him off with a shotgun. Hello friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/LegbeardStories. It was actually posted in r/neckbeardstories, mostly because the r/LegbeardStories subreddit has been shut down for reasons that remain unknown. But that's okay, we gonna keep these Legbeards flowing. It's not the Unfortunate Nookie saga, which I know more people are looking forward to, but man, them posts are beefy. I did it a couple of days ago, and I edited it, and it was super long. Speaking of editing, you guys may have noticed that my channel's looking a little cleaner lately. Yes, indeed, I did hire an editor, so I hope that you guys will let me know what you think of his work. I definitely think that it is a worthy investment. I have some time freed up now to work on my other channels, Dayton Dies, Dayton Does, and Mr. and Mrs. ReddX for the family vlogs. So we're very excited, you know, big things happening over here, and thank you guys so much for joining me on the journey. And with all that said, I guess we'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some Legbeard Stories cringe. Bringing Home a Stray Legbeard, Part 1. Did you bang a Legbeard, bro? Don't tell me you banged a Legbeard, bro. I think that's what I said to the Stealth Beard OP. So far, it hasn't happened, but I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Anyways, hey there, everybody. Big shout out to ReddX. Hey, I've been watching a ton of his videos lately, and it has uncovered some memories that I had hoped would be lost forever. Well, I'm sorry / you're welcome. I never had a word for this particular creature, but I suppose that she was indeed a Legbeard. A Legbeard who lived with my roommate and I for nearly 2 years. God, these recent beard stories are digging deep, man. They're extended experiences going on for years at a time, which is good. It allows us to dig further into the beards and further our research. But first, let's introduce the cast. Iru, that's me, ROP. 22-year-old guy at the start of this, just moved to Georgia, just moved my old roommate to Georgia, working a dead-end job that at least paid well, and was enjoying a fresh start. Hey, where did you come from? Where did you go? Cotton Eye Joe. M was my roommate, best friend, maybe just the slightest bit neckbeardy himself, but he was like a brother to me, so we cut him a lot of slack. He's a good guy, he just has terrible taste in women, something that has not changed, and he is the catalyst of these events. Aw, poor guy, but you know, birds of a feather, you get them beards together, oh boy, that's trouble brewing. We got GEORGIABEARD, saver of kittens, baker of shepherd's pies, teller of lies, major manipulator, scum of the earth, terrible fucking human being. I like the first couple of things. Shepherd's pie and kittens. I'm like, okay, maybe she's good. Oh wait, no, not at all. I hope she stubs her little toe every day at least once and lives never knowing what it's like to feel real love. Holy God, OP, bump the brakes a little bit. Maybe I'll feel the same way by the end of the story, but we are coming out of the gate swinging. Vampire Beard. Though not a traditional neckbeard, Vampire Beard was a lover of tabletops, a complete narcissist, a ruiner of marriages, and kind of just generally an ass of a person. He was probably the best neckbeard that I've ever met though, and was actually well put together and kept himself clean and trimmed, although it is the beard on the inside that counts. Check out that t-shirt over at Teespring. He scored a lot of tail and brought trouble to our doorstep sometimes. So was he a roommate as well, or just somebody that hangs around? I guess we'll find out. So here we go. We'd been living in Georgia for a few months. I had a job at a call center, M had a job in retail, and the two of us were doing pretty good. Rent in Georgia was much more reasonable than the place we had moved from, probably California. God damn, I hate rent in California. So we had extra cash, our bills were paid on time, and we were eating more vegetables and fruits than ramen noodles. Moving on up, life was good. Life was great until the Legbeard Nation attacked. M comes home from work to tell me that he's met a girl. I had recently got out of a very turbulent relationship, so I was happy for him. One of us might as well be getting some. They went to a party together, and after a night of drinking and poor choices, he lost his virginity, and they were an item. Oh my god, he did bang a Legbeard! Thankfully, it's not going to go into that much detail, but it is confirmed. I told you it was just a matter of time. God damn. M, she's so good for me. She plays WoW. She likes video games. We read the same manga. She's chill. And she doesn't bug me about working out or eating better. Yeah, bro, self-improvement is super hard. You want a woman that pushes you to do these things. You see, not pushes too hard, but at least tries to motivate you to become a better person. I kind of rolled my eyes because these were things that I had been talking to him about since I was trying to lose weight of my own and leave my own sort of neckbeardy past behind me. But I shrugged it off in the end. If he was happy, then okay, I was happy for him. They went on a few dates over the next month, and I was a little worried about his spending habits, if I'm being quite honest. M was frugal. We both were. And that is why we usually had extra cash when a WoW expansion came out, or when we needed new graphics cards, or our cars broke down or something. In a month, M spent nearly $600 on dates. They went to the aquarium, the Coke Museum, Stone Mountain Park, Six Flags, a lot of expensive restaurants. All of this M would inevitably have to pay for, despite telling me that this chick had a trust fund and was in nursing school and had a nursing license. She seemed to be perpetually broke. Despite all of this, she worked retail instead of in one of the 2 large hospitals in the area. I mean, that's pretty sus, but I know a lot of people that don't end up using their college degrees. And I mean, if M has the money to spend on dates and he's okay with paying for the entire date, I guess it's not a whole lot of OP's business what they're on about, at least for the most part. I do have to consider the fact that they are roommates, so if dude can't pay rent, then everybody's not going to be having a good time. But I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. After a month of this, I finally got to meet her. I was on the couch, enjoying a day off with some Fallout 3. Beautiful. When M walks in with a girl that I didn't know, but I assumed that was his girlfriend. M says, "Hey, Iru, this is GEORGIABEARD. She's the girl I've been telling you about." OP? Oh, hey. Nice to meet you, GEORGIABEARD.
Thanks! You two have a nice place!
And at that point, we did. But oh, how that tide would shift. Oh, how the turntables. And why does GEORGIABEARD have a British accent? What's up with all these British Legbeards? I guess I could give her a southern accent, but I don't know if it would go over as well.
Thanks! You two have a nice place!
It doesn't work. I can't do a southern accent. God damn it. We'll work on it. So instead of going on expensive dates, they just hung out at our apartment. We had a big DVD collection, so they watched movies or played Xbox or just hung out in M's room. She was honestly not that bad at first. She made us dinner and picked up after M, who was kind of allergic to chores, and took us to eat out sometimes. This was when I learned about her nursing degree.
I'll just have to finish a few courses, and then I'll be an RN.
And the trust fund that her grandmother had left her. She did indeed play a lot of the same games we did, and yeah, she was pretty okay. To everyone except for Vampire Beard. Now, Vampire Beard is a guy that I might talk about sometime if you guys want, but after a series of unfortunate events, he was sleeping on our couch. This didn't stop him from bringing girls over, eating out of the fridge even if it wasn't his, and hogging the TV, but Em and I spent most of our off time playing WoW, so we barely noticed. Okay, so he is kind of a roommate. He's like a couch surfing roommate. Does he pay rent? Either way, don't eat food out of the fridge that's not yours. We learned about this in the Toilet Beard saga. It's never going to end well. GEORGIABEARD and Vampire Beard did not like each other. Oh, that's too bad. They're both beards. They should get along swimmingly. GEORGIABEARD thought that
he was a womanizer.
And Vampire Beard told us
how GEORGIABEARD took advantage of men.
If only we had listened to him. I mean, I can't blame you for not listening to a beard, honestly. So after a month of knowing her, Em asked if
she could move in with us.
Em, she basically already lives here, and she says that she'll help with like the bills and the rent, paying less money in bills. That was music to my ears. So I agreed. But GEORGIABEARD had one stipulation. She said,
Vampire Beard has to go. He's taking advantage of your generosity and is leeching off of you.
I balked at this. Vampire Beard was a friend. He was a bad friend. But he paid his rent, and he did clean up after himself. He also cooked us meals pretty regularly and was a part of our D&D group. I told her that that wasn't fair. He was paid up for the next 3 months, and she relented, at least for the moment. Oh yes, it's never over. She moved in. She basically took over Em's bedroom and bathroom, but whatever, that was nothing to me. Again, not my circus, not my monkeys. I had my own bedroom and bathroom, and if he wanted to let her take over his entire room, then I honestly didn't care. She immediately began to cook and clean for us, keeping house and keeping us well fed. We obviously liked this. It was nice, but it was all a ploy. While she was doing all this, Vampire Beard was out tomcatting. 5 nights a week, he was out and on the prowl for some woman to spend the night with.
I just need to find somebody with low enough self-esteem and a man.
GEORGIABEARD told us how
this was unacceptable and that he was bringing trouble to our doorstep while he courted married women.
We shrugged this off until something happened one night that changed our minds. Uh-oh. I'll go into more details if need be, but a husband came to our doorstep one night, and I had to run him off with a shotgun. Jesus, you do need to go into detail on that. That is fucking wild. So yeah, that was the last straw, and we told Vampire Beard he had until August to get his shit and leave. He argued, he wheedled, but in the end, we put our foot down. He packed up and left, looking like the sad tiger meme, and we didn't see much of him after that. And it only got even worse after that. See, you didn't get rid of your problem, really. The honeymoon phase did not last long. Soon, Em and GEORGIABEARD were arguing about things, and these things seemed to run across a pretty predictable path. They would argue, she would cry, then suddenly she would come up pregnant, and he would relent and not want to stress her for a few months. Then, if they fought again, she would lose the baby, and he would stop arguing again so he didn't stress her any further. While pregnant, she continued to smoke a pack a day and drink often. She would always claim that it was
just orange juice,
but the vodka in it was eye-watering. Brings to mind the Legbeard of my nightmares fake pregnancy thing, which seems to be a big page in the Legbeard playbook. We are documenting this behavior. We're learning so much all the time with our beard research. And then there were the cats. When we moved in, we had a cat. He escaped, so we had an active pet deposit on the books. She asked if she could
Bring one cat into the apartment.
and I said, okay, that would be fine. When she moved in, she had one cat and it was house trained. This was okay. I was fine with this. I love animals, especially cats, and a fuzzy friend roaming the house was indeed fine with me. I came home from work one morning to find a dog in my living room, which she was preparing to walk. Her cat transformed. OP. What the hell's going on here, Georgia Beard?
Oh, Eru, this is Dog. She's my dog.
OP. Okay, well, we only have one pet deposit, so you'll need to pay for one so Dog can stay. Georgia Beard.
Of course, I will absolutely pay that.
Spoilers, she never paid it. Yep, here we go. Over the course of the next 8 months, she also got progressively lazier. She stopped doing dishes, she stopped cleaning up, she stopped cooking meals, she stopped caring for her animals. Oh, that one is the most egregious of all. Honestly, it's not her responsibility to do the dishes and clean up and cook for these two bachelors. They're grown men. They're perfectly capable of doing it themselves, even if it just means boiling an egg, which is usually what I do to quote-unquote take care of myself. But yeah, she ain't your fucking wife. She's your roommate, you know? These things are not gender roles. They are life skills. She also stopped paying rent, which was something that my roommate just failed to mention because he just kept picking up that tab for her. Now, I know how this sounds, but let me explain. Please do. These were all things that she assured us that she would do when she moved in. Since she had recently quit her job, she assured us that she could stay home
And cook and clean and pay rent with her trust fund.
These were the things that she promised us. And these were things that stopped happening pretty fucking quickly. Well, that bit of information makes me feel like I have to amend my previous statement, but I really don't think that I do. Like, okay, she promised that she would do these things, but really that's not her responsibility. Okay, she doesn't have a job, but as long as the rent is getting paid, like, what business is that of yours? You know what I mean? I don't want to take the Legbeard side or anything like that, but even with the added information here, it seems really awkward to have, like, this strange woman waiting on you hand and foot. It's just a bad look, at least in my view. Comments will probably let me know if they feel different. I also said caring for her animals earlier, and this is another point of contention. She moved in 9 cats. Oh, Legbeard cat lady, here we go. Not all at once, but again, let me explain. Shortly after the dog, she moved in another cat from her parents' house. I explained to her that we were only leased for 2 animals in the apartment. I was assured that the cat would only be staying for a few weeks. He stayed for 8 months. Her cat somehow became pregnant with kittens. Huzzah! So you're gonna take these kittens out of the apartment once they're old enough, right? Georgia Beard said,
Well, they're kittens. I can't just separate them.
OP, we're still only zoned for 2 animals, and we're already pushing it with 3. Georgia Beard said,
I'll ask my mom.
She never did, and the cats also stayed. And then she adopted 4 kittens that we found by the dumpster. Oh, Jesus, dude. You're gonna have to put your foot down at some point. You're gonna get everybody kicked out of the apartment if you just kind of let this type of shit slide. OP. Okay, this is getting out of hand. Some of these animals have to go. Georgia Beard.
I can't just throw them out. And you adopted that little calico cat from the dumpster kittens anyway.
Dumpster kittens. It reminds me of It's Always Sunny where they found the dumpster baby. Yo, remember DB? OP said, yeah, sure did. And you know what else I did? I paid my fucking pet deposit. All the while, M refused to get involved. I told him again and again that we were violating our lease, that we would be evicted if people knew how many fucking cats we had in this apartment. We would lose our deposit. We would get a black mark on our return fees history, and then we could hang up getting any other apartment in the city. He didn't care. Whoa, this is between you two. I don't want to get involved. Bitch, you live here. You are involved. She's obviously not listening to OP. You need to wrangle your lady before you lose your fucking place to live. Ugh. Anyways, fast forward a few months, and I'm living in my room. A 1-cat zone. And basically just coming out to shower and go to work. I walk her dog so it doesn't ruin the carpets. I clean the cat boxes so they don't smell up the house and ruin the floor. I eat in my room so fucking cats don't steal my food. This was my rock bottom. Until one day, she comes into my room and asks me to come into the living room. The two of them announce that
they are now engaged, and she wants to take us all to Florida,
where we're from,
and take us on a week-long vacation so she can meet M's parents and spoil us a little for being such great friends.
Yeah, I'm sure all that's going to happen out of the imaginary trust funds. This sounded pretty good, actually. Yeah, dreams always do. So we packed up, got some time off, and set out to visit our families. This would prove to be the worst experience of our lives. Stay tuned for part 2, bringing home a stray Legbeard, the grand Florida vacation. What an absolute specimen we've found with this saga. Oh my god. Again, I am so hooked in. I am so looking forward to it. All these new sagas starting, it just breathes fresh life into my lungs. There is no reference point for like time as far as this story goes, so I don't know how long it took them to get engaged and decide to all go to Florida together, but it seems like a terrible idea. Although I am a big fan, admittedly, of terrible ideas and watching disasters unfold, and so we shall do it with the stray Legbeard saga. I have had some bad roommates. I've had to kick a couple of roommates out, but none of them have ever been neckbeards, aside from Ramtide, who, honestly, he's like the best neckbeard that I know. We got along pretty good, because I got some beardy tendencies myself. But yeah, not paying the rent, that is grounds to put all your shit onto the fucking sidewalk. And you just hope it's still there when you get home from work. It's happened not once, but twice. I will do it. Do not test me. I hope that you guys are excited for this saga. It's gonna be a good one. I can feel it in my bones. I hope she finds a toenail in every bowl of chili that she ever eats.
Ooh, a toenail!
Bringing home a stray Legbeard, part 2. The Grand Floridian Vacation. That's right, we're all going to Disney World. We're all gonna get laid. Hey there, everybody. Big shout out to ReddX. I've been watching a ton of his videos lately, and it has uncovered some memories that I had hoped would be lost forever. Well, again, thank you, and also, I'm sorry. And also, maybe you're welcome, or I'm welcome. I don't know what's going on. I never had a word for this particular creature, but I suppose she was a Legbeard. A Legbeard who lived with my roommate and I for nearly 2 long years. Oh, how you've endured, how you have suffered, OP. If you haven't read part 1, then fret not, my dudes and my ladies, because here's a link to the post. The link to the video is in the description. But if you want to throw it in the post, never mind. I don't want to be too much of a whore. So, as you all remember, after being pretty much the fucking worst, GEORGIABEARD, who is the stray Legbeard, invited us on an all-expenses-paid trip back to our hometown of Panama City, Florida. That's right, Well, that kind of Florida trash. Florida man's writing Legbeard stories? Boy, I'm excited now. We were excited because it was a chance to see our friends and my roommate's family, which are like family to me because I've known him basically all my life. She was going to meet her future in-laws because they were engaged now, and she was paying for everything out of her trust fund, which may or may not have existed. What could possibly go wrong? Famous last words. But first, let's revisit the cast. Iru, that's me, OP, 22-year-old guy at the start of this, moved to Georgia, moved my old roommate to Georgia, working a dead-end job that paid well at least, and enjoying a fresh start. Recently had GeorgiaBeard move in and was kinda hating it. M is my roommate, best friend, and maybe a little neckbeardy himself, but he's like a brother to me, so we cut him a lot of slack. He's a good guy, he just has terrible taste in women, something that hasn't changed to this day. He is GeorgiaBeard's new fiancé, going home to introduce his Legbeard fiancé to his parents. Oh no. GeorgiaBeard, saver of kittens, baker of shepherd's pie, teller of lies, major manipulator, scum of the earth, terrible fucking human being. I hope she finds a toenail in every bowl of chili that she ever eats. A toenail? Yeah, all right. We all got wishes, I guess. Bankrolled this trip through some very interesting means. Oh, God. It's not the trust fund? You mean the trust fund doesn't actually exist? I'm shocked. Vampire Beard, VB. Though not a traditional neckbeard, Vampire Beard was a lover of tabletops, a complete narcissist, a ruiner of marriages, and kind of an ass person. He was probably the best neckbeard I've ever met, though, and was actually kind of well put together and kept himself clean and trimmed. He scored a lot of tail, and he brought trouble to our doorstep sometimes. He was exiled from the apartment at the request of GeorgiaBeard. Mama M is M's mom, and OP's adopted mom. Great lady who was not falling for any of GeorgiaBeard's bullshit for very long. Sis and bro, M's siblings, they're important. OP's mom is my actual mom who smelled that bullshit from a mile away and is an amazing person. That's right. Moms always know. Never bullshit a bullshitter, as they say. So, are we all caught up? Good. Let's begin our tale. Part 2, The Great Floridian Vacation. So, before this, I should probably clarify that her bullshit had already started to stink. M is a welcome guest at my parents' house. He's been my friend since 5th grade, and he's welcome at their table anytime, mostly because he knows that it's diplomatic not to complain about my mother's cooking. Is your mother a bad cook or something? Or is GeorgiaBeard just like a picky asshole? God, I can't stand picky eaters, man. Just fucking eat it. What's wrong with you? And if you're not gonna eat it, you don't need to announce that, oh, I don't like carrots. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. Nobody cares. Not liking carrots isn't a goddamn personality trait. Okay, that's a tangent. This is what got Vampire Beard expelled from my parents' home after he told my mother that her pot roast was dry. It wasn't. And the lecture that he gave her on making it moister was not well received. GeorgiaBeard had a similar experience when she claimed to be allergic to cinnamon and imitation pineapple. Mom's house is full of cinnamon brooms, which she only had an issue with upon being told what they were after being in the house for a couple of hours. What's more, for a nursing student, she was woefully incapable of answering even simple questions from my mother, who is a nursing instructor. Mom also had some very real concerns about her priorities and her plans for after nursing school. The idea of GeorgiaBeard caring for anybody in a medical capacity is just fucking terrifying. It's like those doctors that get a C in medical school and still end up being doctors, even though they're at the bottom of the class. Yeah, that's GeorgiaBeard. My mom warned me that she was as full of shit as a septic tank. But I kind of shrugged it off. You see, this was before I learned that people are kind of trash. If you were my friend, then you were my family, and there was just no way that you would hurt me. No possible way that you would cheat me. Looking back now, I was naive, but I wanted to believe that these people valued my friendship the way that I valued theirs. Unfortunately, OP had to learn some hard lessons about the nature of friendship. How wrong I was. So, step one of this vacation was to rent a car. Now, GEORGIABEARD was actually a few years older than we were. She was 25, so she rented a decent-sized car for us to use. I drove because she hated driving, and we made it to Florida with very little fanfare. Along the way, she bought snacks and meals and just paid for whatever. I had had my suspicions about the trust fund being bullshit, but the fact that she was paying for everything without problems sort of made me rethink that. She claimed that she had been given access to the whole amount when she turned 25 the week before, so now she could access the money without going through whomever oversaw it. This had been an issue in the past when it came to paying her part of the rent and other household bills. My roommate and I knew nothing about trust funds. We were both from white-collar families who were solidly middle class, so we just shrugged and said, okay, that sounds real. So we arrive and go to M's mom's house. M's family is just about the sweetest bunch that I have ever met. My home life has been tumultuous, most of that thanks to me being an angry neckbeardy teen with a case of main character syndrome. This caused my dad and I to fight a lot, physically and verbally, and I often was allowed to stay at M's house with his parents, asking very few questions. I had neckbearded all over his younger sister, got on okay with his brother, and had basically been adopted by his mom. So when I say we came to his mom's house, it was like she was having her boys coming home. She met GEORGIABEARD, and at first, everything was fine. She met the family, she got along with mostly everyone, but when his sister pulled me aside, I knew something was up. And I assume she wasn't pulling you aside so you could neckbeard all over her some more? She's putting the puzzle pieces together. Sis says, alright, is she for real? OP, I don't know what you mean. Sis, she has a nursing degree, which she hasn't framed and you've never seen, and she works at a retail store? OP, well, not really. She doesn't even work there anymore. Sis, so who's been paying the bills since M just quit his job? OP, wait, what? Dun dun dun! Oh, that's bad fucking news for OP, man. Can you foot all the bills? Thanks so much, best buddy old pal. It should be noted, while they were doing the meet and greet, I had went to visit some friends in town and caught up with an ex who was a good friend of mine. M had never told me that he quit his fucking job before he went on this trip. Sis said, yeah, he says that she's gonna take care of him. But how? She has no job and no prospects, it sounds like, or any desire to utilize what's basically a 4-year degree. Sis knows a little something about that. OP, I have no idea. She has this trust fund, but sis, that's another thing. Have you seen any proof of this trust fund? OP, well, no, but she's paying for this trip and a rental, so she must have some money. Sis, just be careful, Iru. You two can be a little gullible sometimes. Oh, how right she was. God damn, dude. The plot is thickening so good. So we go out to eat with our friends that night, and it was basically one of the biggest messes of the entire trip. We don't have a lot of friends. We were all nerds who basically cling together for protection in school, so when the boys get back in town, it's a party. A nerd party. So we all gather at the classiest of venues, Olive Garden, because when you're there, you're family. God damn. And the salad and breadsticks flows like wine, which also flowed. You're a group of classy motherfuckers, OP. So we're all having a great time, but one of them had become the focus of GeorgiaBeard's ire. We'll call him Cloud. He's a Final Fantasy fan, and he had taken up my spot in our lease after I had moved to Georgia to get everything ready for M to slide casually in. Now, Cloud was kind of a lot, but he had been our friend for years, and we liked him. He also, incidentally, owed M some money for some backed rent that had not been paid. Ooh, that's a bad look. GeorgiaBeard had taken it upon herself to
get my man his money or implode their friendship trying.
Yeah, thanks for helping, because I totally couldn't fucking do this myself. It sucks that Cloud hasn't paid M back. Like, we wouldn't be friends at that point. I don't want anybody to owe me money. But unless M asks for help getting it back, like, keep your fucking beak out. So we're out at dinner, everyone's having a good time, when apropos of nothing, she leans towards him and delivers a Godfather-esque ultimatum.
We didn't really invite you here just for food. You owe M money. Either pay him, or he doesn't want to see you ever again.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Cloud is rightfully confused, but tries to make amends. He agrees to set up a payment plan with them, but GeorgiaBeard is having none of that.
No! Pay him now, or get the fuck out!
Dude, the payment plan? What? What's wrong with the payment plan? People are looking, and Cloud tells her that he doesn't have that kind of money.
Well, then I guess you know where that leaves you, don't you?
And so, Cloud left in a huff. M, you really gonna let your lady run the show like this? Fucking kick your friends out and shit? Nah, dude. It's not happening like that. He later told us that it was bullshit how she had ambushed him like that. And while I thought that it was his comeuppance at the time, he was sort of a mooch sometimes, I didn't agree with how she had done it. Cloud was an old friend, and they had done him dirty. Oh, both of them? So this was like part of M's plan too? I mean, I'm not really partial to Cloud, if you want me to be quite honest. Being a mooch, owing people money? Nah, we wouldn't be friends for very long. I was beginning to feel a little sorry for Vampire Beard, something that I would regret because that is a whole different story of awfulness, and how she was slowly separating us from our friends. So the next few days are only eventful because of GeorgiaBeard. Here are some of the highlights. She got drunk one night while supposedly pregnant. And she told M's mother that
someone with her past has a lot of nerve judging her.
When she tried to reprimand her about drinking while supposedly pregnant. M's mom is a recovering alcoholic, so that hit her pretty hard. Yeah, GeorgiaBeard got no problem punching below the belt. She apologized, only to then offend her all over again when she asked her why she wasn't working at the hospital. She told her,
well, you aren't using your degree and no one says shit to you.
Which did not endear her to her future mother-in-law. Yeah, foot, meat, mouth. I pinned M down about quitting his job, and he told me that she had convinced him to leave and said that she would take care of his part of the bills. Remember this, because it will be important later. She claimed to have been approached for a $280,000 home loan so we could move out of our
dingy apartment.
Which, you know, was only dingy because of her. She scratched the rental car when she tried to go get cigarettes and refused to report it. They're gonna find it. We went to the beach basically every day, where she insisted that she and M
have some alone time
in the water at the public beach during daytime at peak season. I mean, they didn't get caught, but come on, people's kids were there. If you are gonna bang at the beach, probably don't do it at peak season. Although if you're the only ones out in the water, banging in the water, then yeah, you're making a spectacle of yourselves. It's good to have a little bit of camouflage, but not too... Never mind, I'm not gonna give you tips on fucking banging at the beach. We're moving along. So we mostly just visited while she shat all over any relationship that she might have formed with her in-laws. Until one fateful day. We were at the beach again, and me, like a dumbass, had accidentally locked the keys in the rental car. I wasn't thinking about it, and now we were stuck. So I called the rental company, and they were very interested in where we were and why GeorgiaBeard hadn't been accepting their phone calls for the last 24 hours. Uh-oh. She waddles up about this time, realizes who I'm on the phone with, and gets furious because I was
supposed to just pop a lock
while she's having a diaper baby tantrum. Diaper baby. The police show up, and they take her into custody for some reason. Now, Em and GeorgiaBeard aren't married, so they aren't gonna tell us shit. One of the officers did mention that it involved a credit card. Uh-oh. And suggested that we come pick her up after they had talked to her. They towed the car, and we had to get a ride from Em's brother after getting our stuff out of the vehicle. Jesus Christ, dude. So Em is freaking out. Why did they arrest GeorgiaBeard? What's going on? Why'd they take the car? All questions that I did not have the answer to. So about 3 hours later, she arrives home with the rental car. Huzzah! She immediately wants to take Em off somewhere to explain, and they go to talk for a while. Remember this, dear readers. Remember this moment. Because it will make some things that happen later so much more devious, so much more diabolical, so much more hurtful to me when I look back on them. They came back, and GeorgiaBeard tells me that
it was all a misunderstanding. The bank saw that I had some weird charges on my credit card, and they decided that it had been stolen when they couldn't reach me.
Yeah, that's not how any of this works, okay? The rental company's not gonna get the cops after you just because they think there's weird charges on your credit card. Your story, much like your fucking head, is full of holes. God, she's getting me heated. OP, credit card? Would your trust fund be linked to a credit card? GeorgiaBeard.
That's just how it is.
For some reason, we did not question this, so we just packed to return home the next day. And so we returned to Georgia with tan skin and very little fanfare. But oh, dear readers, were things about to get so much worse. Stay tuned for part 3, GeorgiaBeard Cat Scratch Fever. Once again, thanks for reading, and I hope my past pain has brought you some entertainment. I'm definitely hooked, definitely entertained. There is something hinky going on here, and though I can't quite place my finger on it, aside from, you know, having stolen a credit card, I definitely know that GeorgiaBeard is up to some shit, and apparently M is also in on it because he betrays OP for this Legbeard. At least if I'm reading the foreshadowing correctly. A very sad thing to witness. You did get a free vacation out of it, which I guess is pretty sweet, but oh, what a price to pay. It's like, hey, you get a free trip to Florida, but you have to live in an apartment with a Legbeard for 2 years. Like, nah, I'm good on that trip, I think. The cost, the emotional toll is just too high. Oh my God, OP. It does seem to me like GeorgiaBeard is running the show, you know, M is just kind of on the sidelines, letting his lady do whatever the fuck she wants, run his friends off because they supposedly owe him money. Like, ugh, my disdain for M is growing right along with my disdain for GeorgiaBeard. God, they're like little clones too. There's just clones everywhere.
Begun. The Clone War has.
Bringing home a stray Legbeard, part number 3. Cat Scratch Fever. I hope she gets mauled by a cat. If she's being mean to aminals, then she deserves nothing but what she gets. Hey there, everybody. Big shout out to ReddX for reading the previous parts. Hey, he's awesome. Yeah, kinda, I guess sometimes. I've been watching a ton of his videos lately, and I saw that he read the first entry and the second one, so that is friggin' awesome. Links in the description. These stories have uncovered some memories that I had hoped would be lost forever. Well, sorry / you're welcome. I never had a word for this particular creature, but I suppose that she was indeed a Legbeard. A Legbeard who lived with my roommate and I for nearly 2 very long years. So, as you may remember, my roommate's girlfriend, GEORGIABEARD, was just the fucking worst. She brought 9 animals into our 2-bedroom apartment and refused to get a pet deposit or get rid of the animals or even clean up after herself or even, in fact, pay her fucking bills. Though that's not something that will really come out until this installment. She took us on a grand Florida vacation that, despite some bumps, was a pretty okay time for us, at least. So, dear friends, I do hope that you have enjoyed that little vacation because there is a shitstorm a-brewing, and it is about to rain down on us like an exploded septic tank. That's right, it's very important to clean your septic. You see, because the methane gas builds up in there or something. So I give you part number 3, Cat Scratch Fever. And if you aren't caught up, here are some links to part 1 and part 2. And let's revisit that cast. Iru, that's me, OP. 22-year-old guy at the start of this. Moved to Georgia. Moved my old roommate to Georgia. Was working a dead-end job that at least paid well. And was enjoying a fresh start. Recently had GEORGIABEARD move in and was kinda hating it. M is the roommate and best friend, and maybe even just a little bit neckbeardy himself. But he is like a brother to me, so we cut him a lot of slack. He's a good guy. He just has terrible taste in women, something that to this day has not changed. He's GEORGIABEARD's new fiancé, and he went home to introduce his Legbeard fiancé to his parents. GEORGIABEARD, GB, saver of kittens, baker of shepherd's pie, teller of lies, major manipulator, scum of the earth, fucking terrible human being. I hope that she eats twice the number of spiders every year and some of them have gingivitis. Somehow she becomes a worse human being as time goes on. We've also got Vampire Beard VB. Though not a traditional neckbeard, Vampire was a lover of tabletops. A complete narcissist, a ruiner of marriages, and kind of an ass person. He was probably the best neckbeard that I've ever met though, and was actually well put together and kept himself clean and trimmed. He scored a lot of tail, and that brought trouble to our doorstep sometimes. He was exiled from our apartment at the request of GEORGIABEARD. Man, Vampire Beard's still hanging around that cast list? I thought he was just gone since we didn't see him in the last installment. But I guess he'll make his triumphant return. Let's see. So then, after returning from our little vacation, life returned to relative normalcy. And by normalcy, I mean our house reeked of cat piss, our sink overflowed with dishes, and you could smell my roommate's bathroom from the living room. Ugh, which I avoided. Oh, God. We're getting that cringe in nice and early, man. That sounds horrible. The house was in such a state that I started avoiding the rest of our house unless I needed food or had to go to work. The cats had taken advantage of our absence to make a little clubhouse in the bottom of our couch. Oh, God damn it. And GEORGIABEARD's mom, who was also a lazy trash person, had just not noticed and not cared. She also made no attempt to change the litter all week and just came to give him food and watch our TV. Oh, God. I often ask myself why Legbeards or neckbeards are the way that they are. It usually has something to do with parenting, and in this case, yeah, what else can I do but point? Say, look, what did you expect would come from that? It's just a clone. A big, fat, useless clone. So after that, I got my own litter box and kept my cat in my room and let her have her own food. The pet I had originally put on the deposit had run out the door one day and just never come back, so I had adopted one of the dumpster kittens. Well, that was nice of ya. It's just too bad the dumpster kitten was a gift from a Legbeard. Never accept a gift from a beard. It felt better than leaving her in the house with that rabble. The rabble that ultimately contributed to the name of this story. Cat Scratch Feet. I think Ted Nugent contributed to the name of the story. But I get where you're coming from. It's also an actual illness. Never mind. Whatever. About a month after our trip, I was eating in the kitchen. This was a rarity, and it was just a quick bite before going to work. I was having a biscuit when one of the cats jumped onto the table to sniff my food. I shooed it away, and to my surprise, it swiped at me. The cut wasn't much, so I washed my hands and put a Band-Aid on and just went about my day. 3 days later, I was too sick to get out of bed. Oh my god, dude, you got these fucking feral cats running around at this point. No human interaction, they just think they're entitled to your food, much like the Legbeard. God, they're like little clones too. There's just clones everywhere. I was running a high fever, I had chills, and there were angry lines running out from the wound. I managed to make it to the hospital that I worked at, and they told me that I had cat scratch fever. It had a more impressive name, but the PA told me that that's basically what it was. They gave me some antibiotics and told me to get plenty of rest. I called work, told them what was going on, and they told me to feel better. And also probably wondered why I had a feral cat running around in my house. A week later, I was not doing well. The antibiotics were in the kitchen, somewhere I had stupidly left them when I got home. My fever had gotten so high that I was delirious, doing nothing much besides laying in bed and raving. To M's credit, he did check on me from time to time. By that, I mean like 1 to 2 times a day. And he brought me water and some Gatorade. He couldn't find my pills. But he kept me hydrated somewhat. And I slept on and off. The pills are in the fucking kitchen. Look harder. Do you understand your friend can die from an infection? He's just like, I don't know where it is. Here's some Gatorade, bro. Thank you so much for checking on me once a day. I've been dead for 18 hours. Holy shit, man. I'm amazed that you're grateful for that. But I guess that is the way to be because, I mean, what else are you going to do about it? Holy shit. It's a mess. I woke up after 3 days to my mother standing over me. Mom, what have you been feeding him, Em?
Well, I got him water and he kept saying he wasn't hungry, so...
GeorgiaBeard.
We've been taking care of him. He's been getting better. Why are you here anyways? We've got this.
And by that, she means M has got this, which he definitely doesn't. I hadn't actually seen GeorgiaBeard in about 3 days, but I was so delirious that I can't really confirm or deny this statement. I remember being picked up. I vaguely remember a car ride. I remember someone pushing a pill into my mouth. I remember waking up on a Saturday in an unfamiliar bed. Given that I had been scratched on Sunday, this felt weird, since the last 6 days were just very hazy. My mom came in and noticed that I was awake and brought me some soup and some coffee. Mom's answer to everything: yes, coffee, more coffee. Bring me coffee soup. She sat at the foot of the bed and wanted to talk, knowing that I couldn't refuse while I was stuffing my face with her delicious chicken and wild rice soup. Best soup in the world. I will die on that hill. Chicken and wild rice soup is hard to beat, but let me ask you this, OP. You ever tried sinigang, like a really, really sour one? Oh, that is the hill that I'm dying on. It's just too good. Mom said, son, you need to consider coming home. OP, I can't, Mom. I got a lease and bills. I can't just leave Em and GeorgiaBeard high and dry. Mom, Eru, those two were gonna leave you in that bed to either die or get better. And I'm honestly not sure which one you would have done. Ooh, Mom's calling it like she sees it. I like her already. When I came to get you, your fever was 103. You could have easily died and they wouldn't have noticed until it was time to pay the fucking rent. You could move home, live here rent-free, go back to school, maybe get a better job after you got your degree. We went back and forth until she finally just said, keep it in mind. I talked to your boss when she called and told her that I was keeping you here till Tuesday to make sure you were better. Just think about it until then. Oh, moms. You gotta love moms and grandmas. Always there, always trying to stick up, look out for your better interests, but for some reason OP has loyalty to these two fucking doofuses. I can't leave them high and dry. Like, they left you high and dry, dude. The pills were in the kitchen and they couldn't even bother looking for them. They just watched you dying on the bed. Man, fuck them kids. What the hell are you doing? So OP sat in that bed, reading and playing on his phone and thinking about the offer. It was a tempting offer, but to me it felt disloyal to leave them in such a state. They were my friends. Em and I were practically family, and it just felt wrong to me to abandon them. The more I considered my mom's offer, the more of a shit I felt like. So by the time Tuesday morning rolled around, I thanked my parents for their hospitality, and they, reluctantly probably, took me home. Oh, God, OP. You can't save them all. This is a lesson I've learned in life. You cannot save them all. Look out for number one. Help out some people as you can, but do not stake your own health on it. Ugh. Pretty quickly, all my goodwill disappeared. It was early-ish, around 9 a.m., and I noticed that there was something on the door. I got a little excited since I hoped it was for a community garage sale or something. We usually participated, and it was always a lot of fun. Sadly, it was not a flyer or a pamphlet or even a missed package. It was an eviction notice. Oh, hope that offer for mom is still on the table. The notice said that we were being evicted because we had missed 3 months of rent payments. Now, this came as a shock to me because I had been paying the rent directly to GEORGIABEARD, oops, for the last 3 months. What the hell, dude? You're the holder of the lease. You make sure the rent is getting paid. You collect the money. Do not trust this fucking beard. When I saw the notice, I realized that my mom had been right about them all along. My friends had been lying to me, and I was nothing but a walking wallet to GEORGIABEARD and maybe even to M too, although I didn't really want to think about that. I walked into the house, ready to confront them with it, but first, I had to confront the fucking house. When I tell you that this apartment was a wreck, you think you understand. You'll see maybe some beer bottles on the floor and a little bit of dust in the corners. You might even see a dirty countertop. Oh my, a dirty countertop! You'll think that I'm exaggerating, but I don't think you can grasp how dirty this place had gotten in less than a week. Think like a post-Civil War Rwanda. Jesus Christ. The carpet is crunchy. Cat litter and dirt and mud basically ruining it. The couch is sticky with something and covered in clothes and cat litter. Oh God, I hate it. The kitchen floor is sticky and filthy. And there was even a sandal stuck to it that looked attached with glue. Somebody was in a big hurry to escape. They're like, leave the fucking sandal, let's go. The counters, the sink, the stove are all just covered in sauce and grease and filth. The sink is piled with dirty dishes. The washing machine is full of dirty clothes that now smelled like sour mash. Ugh. My bathroom had been used and clearly not cleaned afterwards. We each had our own bathroom and we did not use each other's bathrooms. Unless, you know, the owner of the bathroom is dying of cat scratch fever and had to be transported to a hospital. Then we use his bathroom. God, they're both horrible people. I have no idea why you feel any loyalty. I mean, time does have a big impact. You know, M has been your friend for a while, but just because he's been your friend before doesn't mean that he needs to keep staying your friend. You know what I mean? You meet friends in life, and very few of them will be friends for life. It is perfectly okay to let people go, and in some situations, like this one, I would even highly fucking encourage it. And of course, the turd cherry on my shit sundae, my bedroom door is just wide open. Cats have shit on my pristine carpet. There's litter and dirty paw prints in my bed. Ugh! My books have been pushed off my shelf. The cats did this in the living room sometimes too. And my computer is on and has been used, and there is an ashtray on my desk. Fuck no! I burst into their room and raised the fucking dead. OP, what the absolute fuck? They both sat up, very bleary, very confused. OP, I come home to find the house a wreck, my room ransacked, and a fucking eviction notice for unpaid rent. Someone has about 2 seconds to start explaining what the actual fuck is going on here. GEORGIABEARD, of course, had her excuses ready. GEORGIABEARD,
Whoa, that's a mistake. I've been paying the rent for 3 months from my trust fund. They're clearly wrong. I will go and...
I cut her off, though. I had started to make some real misgivings about her stories, and I told her that I would check on it myself. I would also take M with me, so that she couldn't convince him to head out while we were gone. I was prepared to be surprised by the landlord, but it was actually M who surprised me. M said,
Wait,
as we climbed into my car.
I need to come clean.
Oh, maybe he's not such a bad guy. Yes, he is. He's fucking party to this. He's only sorry he got caught. He spilled it all out for me right there. Her uncle was trying to dispute GEORGIABEARD's access to the trust fund, feeling that she wasn't responsible, as we've seen. He had tied it up after the trip, showing that she had spent way too much money, and they'd basically been using my rent checks to pay for day-to-day expenses. What the actual fuck? You think that's okay? Oh my god! And M just keeps his fucking mouth shut about this? I can't with this anymore. You are getting played for a fool, OP. Do not let them do this to you. M said,
I should have told you. It was shitty of me, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but as soon as this gets cleared up, she's gonna fix it. She's gonna get all of this fixed, and...
I had tuned out. His words were the same as hers, and I knew right then and there that I had to get the fuck out. Good plan, OP. The conditions had made me sick, had damn near killed me, and it was never going to get any better. And so I told them I was moving out. I couldn't stand the lies and the environment, and I was leaving to just stay with my parents. They had taken 3 months of my rent, so fuck it. They could figure it out. I was upset with them, and I really just didn't want to hear their excuses. If they wanted to salvage our friendship, then they could fix this mess. As it was, I had lost about $2,100, and I gave them the last month of rent before the lease expired, too. This may seem foolish, but I had made a promise to uphold my end of the lease, and I considered that to be my burden. Stupid, yes, but it was more about my honor than anything. Well, all I can say about that is you are a bigger person than me. I wouldn't have told him. I would have packed up and ghosted in the night. They would have been like, what happened to him? I don't know, bro. Maybe it was all a hallucination. Maybe I actually died of cat scratch fever a couple months ago. So I packed up and left, just leaving those two to their mess. They moved out at the end of the month, moving in with GEORGIABEARD's parents, and I honestly did not expect to hear from them again. My parents let me move into one of the guest rooms. They had a pretty big house, and I started looking into the local college so I could get a degree in drafting and computer technology. And this should be where the story ends, but it's not. Uh-oh. The beards never stop around here. You see, about 2 months later, I got a message from M and GeorgiaBeard wanting to have lunch. Go fuck yourself. I should have ignored it, but I didn't. Again, bigger person than me. This would prove to be a mistake. So, dear friends, stay tuned for part 4 of Bringing Home a Stray Legbeard, which has been lovingly entitled, The Audacity of This Bitch. Once again, thank you for reading, and I hope that my past pain has brought you some entertainment. Well, I gotta say, OP, I am so glad that you got fucking up and out. This was a terrible situation that was not gonna get any better, and because the story continued on, I assumed that you were gonna just shove it all down and be like, okay, I guess I'll deal with it. It is a great, great thing to hear that you're like, nah, fuck this. I know when the ship is sinking and I gotta get out. Bless your parents, bless you for, finding a new direction and a new passion, and I know that your life is going to be better for it. Okay, we lose a couple of friends along the way, but at the end of it all, you're looking out for number one, aren't you? And that's the most important thing of all. I am quite curious why she got back into contact with you. I hope it's not to hit you up for money or something like this, but man, I wouldn't put anything past GeorgiaBeard at this point. She is just an absolute wreck, and while part of me wants to feel bad for her, I can't, She's a liar, she's a cheat, she's a sneak, she's a terrible person in general. I do hope that she gets it figured out, but yeah, I'm not the one that's gonna help her try and fucking figure it out, and nor should you be, OP, so good for you. Good for everybody. Everything was fine. It was all fine.
This is fine. Things are gonna be okay.
Bringing Home a Stray Legbeard, Part 4. The Audacity of This Bitch. That's pretty early in the video to drop the B word, but I hope YouTube monetization is gonna be alright with that. Hey there, everybody. Big shout out to ReddX. Hi, Arushas. Welcome back. I've been watching a ton of his videos lately, and it has uncovered some memories that I had hoped would be lost forever. Well, sorry, but also you're welcome. I never had a word for this particular creature, but I suppose that she was indeed a Legbeard. A Legbeard who lived with me and my roommate for nearly 2 very, very long years. As many of you will remember, I got sick and had to be nursed back to health by my mom last time. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. OP got cat scratch fever from the feral house cats that this Legbeard basically let take over their apartment. Oh god, what a nightmare. After returning home, I discovered that A, we were being evicted, and B, both of them had been using my rent money for, not rent. And of course, C, that my roommate M had been lying to me about it the entire time. So I went ballistic, moved out, and moved in with my parents. That should have been the end. That's what I said. That should have been the very end of my interactions with both of these people. But I, dear readers, am a gullible idiot / soft-hearted fool. And so, I give you part number 4, the audacity of this Legbeardy bitch. If you aren't caught up, here's part 1. Hey, that's a link. Part 2. Hey, another link. Part 3. Oh, even a third link. Yes, indeed. I've read all of them. If you'd like the video version, in the description, as I said. Also, let's revisit the cast. We've got Iru. That's me, the OP. 22-year-old guy at the start of all this. Moved to Georgia. Moved my old roommate to Georgia. Working a dead-end job, but at least it paid well, and enjoying a fresh start. Recently left the cat-infested apartment and struck out away from my roommate and his very toxic Legbeard girlfriend. M, roommate, or ex-roommate as the case may be. Best friend, question mark? And maybe a little bit neckbeardy himself, but he is like a brother to me, so we cut him a lot of slack. He's a good guy, he just has terrible taste in women. something that has not changed to this day. Newly evicted and living with GeorgiaBeard and her parents, who are full-blown cave trolls. Oh good, we get to meet the Legbeard parents. What a treat today. I always love seeing beard parents and analyzing what exactly went wrong. GeorgiaBeard is GB, aka the stray Legbeard, saver of kittens, baker of shepherd's pie, teller of lies, major manipulator, scum of the earth, terrible fucking human being. I hope her pumpkin spice drinks are always spoiled, and the soles fall off of her Ugg boots. Is that still what, like, basic white girls are doing? Pumpkin spice and Ugg boots been around for like a decade, man. We gotta find something different. Recently evicted and living with her parents. VampireBeard, VB. He's still hanging around the cast list. Though not a traditional neckbeard, VampireBeard was a lover of tabletops, a complete narcissist, a ruiner of marriages, and kind of an ass person. He was probably the best neckbeard I have ever met, though, and was actually pretty well put together and kept himself clean and trimmed. He scored a lot of tail, and that sometimes brought trouble to our doorsteps. He was exiled from the apartment at the request of GeorgiaBeard. I re-established friendship with him after that, and should have really known better. Uh-oh. Motherbeard and Fatherbeard, MB and FB respectively, two garbage pail adults who raised a garbage pail kid. Surprise, surprise. They are both complicit in her schemes and had actually raised her to be this way. Oh God. I don't know what's more sad, when the parents are like super nice and permissive and they raise a legbeardy or neckbeardy kid, or if the parents are just basically cardboard cutouts of what their spawn became. I guess the nice parents are more sad because you wouldn't expect it to go the way that it goes, but it is a fascinating question, and I guess the debate rages on. I truly hope that the state college studies them when they are dead to discover the source of garbage behavior in humans. And I hope they die pretty soon. If all the beard couples only produce one child, then we will cut the beard population in half in a single generation. That's science. Look it up. So there I was, back in my parents' house. I was doing pretty okay for myself, settling in, building some credit, still working way too much, and applying for grants and scholarships. These, dear readers, were the salad days. Those halcyon days of my early 20s when the world was open to me. These were the times when I had money to burn, time to pursue other things, time to work on myself. I would live with my parents for the next 3 years, attending school and working at the hospital, joining a gym and participating in a string of the SCA, going to Friday Night Magic and making college friends and pursuing some other interests. Sounds like a pretty healthy life you got going on. They were good times indeed, until the Legbeard Nation attacked. So, confession time. I know neckbeards and the occult often go hand in glove, and for us it was really no different. I had been a practicing pagan for years. I kinda look back on that and cringe at my level of naivete, and I was a pretty deft hand with tarot and spells. Oh boy, you should talk to Weezybeard about his warlock mate bond. No, but I used to do tarot cards too when I was on the street. I openly admit that it was bullshit, but it was how I kept myself fed for a time. That's how I reestablished my connection with VampireBeard, whom I felt sorry for after we had treated him so poorly. GeorgiaBeard, a fellow practitioner, had something of his that she claimed to be using to cast negative spells on him. At the time, I had heard that he was in the hospital after suffering a near-fatal heart palpitation, so I put a little stock into this, it being my craft and all. I took it before moving out and brought it back to him so she couldn't use it anymore, and that's how we reconnected. VampireBeard truly is worthy of his own story, and he might get it, but for now, we're still on GeorgiaBeard. I don't put much stock into spells and the like, but as long as you're not hurting anybody else, go ahead and believe what you want. In this situation, GeorgiaBeard is actively trying to hurt somebody else. Although I don't think that's the reason for Vampire Beard's palpitations, it is an interesting coincidence at the very least. So I hadn't really heard from them in about 3 months, outside of M checking in and telling me what was going on with the move. I don't care. I was mostly ignoring him. I lived for those 3 months, expecting to get a call from the apartment complex that I had essentially run out on. Before you say it, yes, I am aware that I should have called them and set something up, but I was a dumb kid, doing something that I thought was reckless because I thought it inconvenient to my shitty roommates. I've run out on approximately 1 roommate before. I was the leaseholder and everything, wrapped it up with the apartment complex. I'm like, okay, I'm closing the lease, paid the last month's rent, and fucking bailed. Left that dude on the street for a few days, but hey, I hope you learned a lesson. So, one day I'm playing World of Warcraft when M messages me. I'm surprised he's not ignored on there too. We were in the same guild, so this wasn't exactly uncommon. We had a pair of rogues that were notorious on our server for causing trouble for the Alliance. We did raids together, we did arenas together, we had history in-game together. Bro, who's inviting 2 rogues to a raid? Get that shit out of here. You can be 10 Fury Warriors. Oh, my neckbeard, he's showing. He wants to have lunch, just the 2 of us. So I agreed, and we set a date and time. When he showed up with GeorgiaBeard, I knew that I had been duped. Bro, you should have suspected that the whole time. They sat down. I got up and said I had agreed to a one-on-one, and I was tired of listening to her lies. M begged me to stay, and GeorgiaBeard apologized and said,
She wanted to apologize properly.
So I sat back down like a fucking idiot and heard her out. She said
that she had lied and that she was sorry.
She said she had
paid off all the outstanding debt and all the extra cost and for the repairs to the apartment.
She said she did it to say that
she was sorry, but that it had been very expensive.
Yep, here it comes. Consider it your penance, you dumb bitch. This, dear reader, is the hook. I had taken the bait, and now came the oh-so-sharp, horrible hook. She handed me a receipt for $3,500.
That's your half. Since your name is on the lease, I only paid M's part. You owe us.
No, I said flatly. What an apology, dude. I'm sorry, now pay me $3,000. Go take a flying leap. Oh, that's about the point where you reach across the table and just choke the shit out of her. Never gonna happen. She looked confused.
I didn't even have to do that. I just didn't want M's credit wrecked.
M actually did have really good credit for some reason, like for a 22-year-old guy.
I don't want this to affect the 2 of you's relationship, but I will take you to court to get my...
You stole $2,100 from me, and I gave you $700 like a fucking idiot. At best, I owe you like $700.
Okay, then you owe us $700.
She amended. Already, this should be putting off some warning signals in your head. She's willing to take $700. She just wants anything that she could get. She didn't pay for shit. I know it. This is just part 2 of the scam. OP tries to defend himself from the scam by saying, I want to see the receipts first. I want proof that you've paid for anything. And so she proceeded to produce some receipts. She had made payments, or so it seemed, and she had receipts totaling $7,600. They were signed, dated, and ordered, and she had a letter typed telling her that our debt was paid. Were the receipts handwritten? Yes. Was the letter on company stationery? No. Did any of the receipts bear the company name? No. Uh-oh. There's a whole lot of forgery for a quick little payday. God damn it, OP, run! Was I a dumb kid who had not yet learned the ways of the world? Yes, I was. I had been raised to believe that it was unacceptable to have debt like that. If you owed someone money, you paid them back. Enough said. Dad had made it very clear that to do otherwise was to be a fucking mooch. And that's probably how your dad said it too, right? That's how my dad said it. So I agreed. Oh, it's like a dagger in my heart. I know what's coming next. Honestly, I had about $3,000 in savings. Oh, isn't that so convenient that she's asking for $3,000? Bro, I'm gonna fucking explode. I hate this! It's not as bad as the assault stuff, but it's terrible in a new kind of way. The impotent rage is equal. Not that money is everything, but you're not entitled to that! $700 was a drop in the bucket for me, but I still took this information home after agreeing to think about it. Oh, thank God. I told my parents, telling my dad specifically, and he suggested that I do not pay her all at once. Dad said, "Pay her in installments. Do $200 a paycheck, and make sure you get a fucking receipt when you're done." And so, that's what we did. Once I agreed to pay her, it was like all was forgiven. Oh, how magical that is. Like you're the one that needs to be forgiven? What the hell? Somebody please take this bitch out back. Put the boots to her, medium style. That's how I gained admittance to her parents' trailer. What a treat. When I tell you, dear reader, about the horrors of this place, you will not believe me. You will say, "Eru, such things are impossible. Surely you are embellishing. You're pulling my leg. Mark, this is a funny joke. Ha ha." Tis no joke, dear reader. If I thought my apartment was a living hell, then this was the very asshole of Tartarus itself. Ooh, we're getting all Greek mythological on it. Come to find out, they had moved those 8 cats and 1 dog that I had previously mentioned into this 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom trailer. They had just kind of added them to the gigantic pile of 27 cats and 2 dogs that already lived in the house. 27 cats? Oh, God! How is that even possible? For those of you who can't math or don't really want to, that is 35 cats and 3 dogs. God, dude. In a trailer? Yeah. The first time I came in, I could not have told you what the carpet looked like. The carpet was a miasma of cat shit, garbage, soiled clothes, and litter. Oh, God, dude. Ugh. Descriptions of beard nests always get me. That's why I only did 1 neckbeard nest episode. It just cuts me too deep. When I tell you that I could see the air in this fucking place, it meant that the air was yellow, and it looked like it had those Charlie Brown-style stink lines. Pig pen indeed. When you first enter the trailer, there was like a living room and a kitchen. Well, the kitchen, of course, was a nightmare. The sink was full of dishes. Like, there was not 1 cubic inch left for dishes. And the counters and the tables were all full of tied-off grocery bags that contained anything from meat to cleaning supplies, which were the biggest joke in all of this place. There were plates and pans of food just left out so the cats couldn't help themselves because, and they said this with a straight face, it was cheaper than cat food. God damn it, dude. If you can't afford to feed your animals, why do you have 35 of them? Oh, I feel so bad. I hate it. Why? Why any of this? The bags were also tied like that to keep the cats out of them, but this inevitably meant that they just kind of forgot what was in them. Hence the rotten meats and frozen stuff in the bags. Oh, God damn, I'm cringing so hard, man. Oh, this is a hard one to get through. As bad as all that sounds, the living room was worse. Oh, good. Give me more. The floor was covered in the aforementioned shit and garbage, and cats just kind of went willy-nilly about the trash heap. Cobwebs as thick as those Halloween decorations hung on the ceiling. Every surface was covered in dust or hair or just yuck. And the floor crunched unhealthily beneath your feet. Eyes would stare at you from every nook and cranny, and you were basically constantly in danger of stepping on a wayward kitty. So yeah, just another normal home that I happened to find myself in. It was fine. Everything was fine. It was all fine. This would prove to be a red letter day for me because it was the first time that I got to meet Father Beard. Oh, what a pleasure. I had met GEORGIABEARD's mother. She came to visit sometimes. She looked, honestly, no disparagement, like the female boomer from Left 4 Dead 2. Large, soft body, dirty clothes, kinda smelly, but still capable of showering and kind of taking care of herself. Not very well either, as the chairs in my house could attest. As the meme says, there goes the woman who doesn't open up her ass cheeks in the shower and let the water run through. I've never heard of that meme. Okay. I don't have to imagine how stinky that ass could be either. My poor recliner needed to be cleaned every single time she used it. Oh, you let her in your recliner? You just gotta be like, nobody sits there but me. It breaks the social contract, but I don't give a shit. Not you. Anybody but you. As terrible as all that sounds, Mother Beard was but a C-class Legbeard when compared to her gorilla of a husband. Father Beard was an S-tier neckbeard through and through. A god-tier leviathan. The human personification of the garbage creature from the Fraggle Rock cartoons. He lay atop a sagging, ancient couch, a sea of garbage around him, with an ashtray of live coals just sitting atop a fire waiting to happen, chain smoking as he watched daytime TV. Yeah, gotta get my Jerry Springer in, I'll tell you that. The two dogs sat protectively on either side of him, looking like desert guards to the mighty Jabba. And they growled a little at me as I came inside. As I got close to him, I was hit with a wall of odor all at once. I have worked in a morgue before, dear readers, and I have smelled the putrid odor of rotting flesh. When I tell you that I have smelled gangrene-ridden corpses that smell better than this man, I tell you truthfully. He was truly an impressive specimen. God damn, OP. I've been to the morgue once. The smell of dead person is not something that you soon forget. There's no other smell like it, honestly. I think I was only like 15 or 16 that time I was in the morgue, and it still sticks with me to this day. I can't even imagine how an actual alive human would manage to smell like that. What the fuck? We shook hands. That's the worst part. His hands were covered in something flaky and gritty, and I was pointed towards the back where GEORGIABEARD and M, my ex-roommate, lived. A trip into the back of the house, down a hallway that's floor was basically made up completely of dirty clothes, up to a washer that had long since died. Just gave up. It's like, man, fuck this, I'm out. And then I was before a door that read, GEORGIABEARD's room. The room was absolute squalor, but it was actually kinda clean when compared to the rest of the house. Clothes on the floor, a computer desk where they both played World of Warcraft that was covered in ashtrays, like an old Vegas ladies slot machine. Every surface was covered in dust and hair, and those surfaces were also covered in crap and nonsense that they didn't really need. The bed, however, was a king-size bed, and it took up about 75% of the room. There's got to be a tiny ass desk, man. Both of them are sharing this desk. At this point, just sit on the bed. You good. The parts you could see were squalid, and the whole freaking place reeked of cigarette smoke and cat piss, of course. When I had to go in, which wasn't often, I was usually sick for a few days after, as my lungs were filled with black mold, ammonia, and, yeah, probably even anthrax. Biohazard. The house was just a single match away from being a tomb for 4 fat people and a rat king worth of cats. I mean, I got a match right here. Why not do them a favor? But yeah, we were all friends again. Huzzah! Which of course meant that I was basically just back to being GeorgiaBeard's bitch boy. She would plan fun hangouts that would become, "Can you take us to the grocery store?" Ugh. Please stop, OP. When does this end? How does this end? Truly some spineless shit right here. I am just waiting to watch you reclaim your balls. Please, let it come sooner than later. And I would take them to the grocery store because A, M was my best friend, and I liked spending time with him. He was like a brother to me, and I didn't want to just leave him at the mercy of this witch and her cadre of trolls. B, I know this may come as a bit of a shocker, but I didn't have a lot of friends. My childhood was pretty lonely, and it made me cling to the friends that I had to an almost irrational level. This was before I made some pals in college, months before I even started going, and M really was my only real friend. I do understand being lonely, but yeah, use that lonely time to work on yourself, improve your lot in life. You really don't have to hang on to trash just because it's become part of the agenda. You know what I mean? Having no friends, 0 friends is absolutely fine. Although, I suppose you have to be a little bit older to be 100% comfortable with that. Even just a frank conversation could help. You tell M, "Hey, I really don't like the effect that this woman is having on you. If your guys break up, I'd be glad to be your friend again, but until then, I'm going to stay away." You know what I mean? That's one that I've pulled before, too. I'm not gonna play errand boy just to continue being your friend. Ugh. This did not stop her from shaming me anytime that I wanted to spend my money. If I wanted to go out to lunch, she'd say,
"It really makes Em and I feel inadequate that we can't join you for lunch. Why do you keep talking about it around him?"
After I had mentioned it like once, so I would pay for the 2 of them to have lunch with me. Oh, 3-person lunch, that just got a lot more expensive. I would want a game for my computer, and I would have to suffer a 30-minute session of passive aggression from her. Yep, at a certain point you just stop telling people what you're buying. Or cut her off, I don't understand. I saved up and bought an Xbox for my 23rd birthday. I was saving about $75 per paycheck just so I could feel like I had earned it. All of my money was being saved for college or to pay her off, so I was just trying to treat myself. Her response,
"It made Em feel like you were rubbing it in his face when you took us with you to buy it."
Bitch! For one, you invited yourself. And for 2, I wanted to spend my birthday with my best friend, i.e. not fucking you. I didn't notice any face-rubbing comments when I was buying you 2 lunch or paying for your stupid movie tickets. Oh, now I can feel OP's impotent rage growing. Yes, the spine is starting to form. I see it. I'm so proud of you in advance, OP. So this goes on for about 3 months until I take her the last payment. She's been writing me receipts, and I think, okay, I'm done. Dad, when I told him this, sagely recommends that I get a receipt from the apartment as well. Dad, get something with their letterhead on it so they can't try to fuck you later. Dad's a smart guy. Dear reader, you should know that I was on cloud 9 when I pulled up in front of the apartment office. I had paid my debt. I was in the clear for now. My balance on debt was currently $0 in my mind, and I was riding a high that I usually got when I owed money for anything, and finally got it paid off and being left without any debt. That lasted right up until the ladies in the office saw me and swooped in like hawks on a bunny. Oh shit. I had not spoken to them in almost 6 months, and they had questions. Questions like, why hadn't I been returning their phone calls? Why was my roommate's fiance trying to bother them since her name wasn't even on the lease? Why had I left my apartment trashed? Did I know that if they hadn't heard from me by the end of that day, that I was going to be sent out to collections? All this hit me like a 2x4 right to the fucking testicles. And I just sank into a chair and cried, which was probably why they stopped yelling and realized that something was wrong. Yeah, that's right. I cried. I was overwhelmed. I felt lied to, betrayed, and like I was about to be swept up in debt that I would never escape from. Suddenly, all my dreams were shattered. All my money would be gone, and the knowledge that not just GEORGIABEARD, but also M had lied to me about this brought up some rage in me like a white-hot ball of sulfur. So yeah, I cried. I put my head in my hands, and I wept. And that's probably the only reason that they didn't murder me right there. It's okay to cry, OP. Just about every time I do a live stream, I have like tears of joy falling down my face, but yeah, I've cried in front of my wife many times before. I try not to do it in public, but I'd be lying if I said that I never had. And this seems like a crying situation to me. You've been lied to by your best friend, took a big chunk out of your savings to pay back nothing, just to give them even more money. Part 2 of the scam. I saw it all along, but it's still fucking enraging. Ugh. We sat in the office while they detailed my cost and told me exactly what we owed. The apartment had been abandoned, M and GEORGIABEARD both having left in the middle of the night. The whole unit had to be stripped and remodeled. Cabinets, floors, carpet, all the fixtures, everything. Our security deposit was gone, and we were looking at about $5,000 worth of damages to the unit. That money would need to be paid for by Wednesday, 2 days from then, in full, or the manager was transferring us to collections. Fuck, dude. Our credit would be shot, we wouldn't be able to rent anywhere in the city again. These places talk, of course, and all because of this stupid Legbeard bitch and her lies. Ah, fuck, man. I feel so bad for you, OP. But honestly, I can't believe that you let her get you again. You know what I'm saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's all I can really defer to on this. Called my dad from the parking lot, telling him what had happened and looking for advice. My mom is pretty cool under fire, but Dad has a level head and he gives the best advice that you could possibly ask for. Mom is the one you want in a firefight, but Dad is the one that you want in a negotiation. I told him everything, crying again as I told him how I had been duped, how this was gonna fucking clean me out, how I didn't know if I could make my tuition payment in the fall now, and I just didn't know what I was going to do. Without hesitation, he told me, "Don't do anything yet. Let me go to the bank and pull out some money. Go get that piece of shit roommate of yours. Bring him to the leasing office and make him call his dad. Maybe something can be done to get you boys out of this situation." Oh my God. I told him that I did not want to go into debt with him. And he told me, don't worry about it, because I never would. Dad, you got fucked, kid. But as long as you learned a lesson so this never happens again, then me bailing you out is money well spent. God, fuck. Dad, you're the best. Jesus Christ. Parents just never stop loving their children. You're 20-something, he's still right there to bail you out. God bless parents like this. My parents are like this. I would have never found my way at fucking 30 years old if my parents weren't there putting up with my shit for many decades. So thank you, Mom. Thank you, Grandma. Love you both. And I hope you hug your dad every second that you can, Eru. I will never be able to thank my dad enough for that single act of kindness that made it possible for me to go to college in the fall. Turns out that my grants and scholarships went through, and I wasn't actually out of pocket, but he still refused to take a cent, even to this day. He is a peach of a man who I was horrible to in my teens, and I absolutely do not deserve. Yeah, I think the teen years are kind of always like that. Just make it up to him now the best that you can. So I flew like a bat out of hell to the trailer of The Beast. The fates smiled on me that day. Georgia Beard and Mother Beard were out getting groceries, probably with your money, OP. And it was just Father Beard and M. M was just waking up, and I crashed into that squalid little room like the FBI and told him to get his fucking clothes on and come with me. M, why? Eru, because if you don't come with me and pay this debt, we will both be fucking screwed. Since this is basically your fault, I would think that you might give just a little bit more of a shit. M, what do you... Oh, you went by the apartment, didn't you? That gave me pause. Eru, yeah, why? M, well, Georgia Beard didn't think that you would go by there. She said that the receipts would probably be enough to... But he must have noticed my look of thunderstruck rage as it bloomed on my face. He knew. He fucking knew that this rotten crotch bitch was cheating me out of my money. He had to know, and he had done nothing. Hell, he'd even benefited from it, no doubt. I turned them and left, telling him to do whatever the hell he wanted. Eru, I'm going back to pay my part of this shit. Don't bother ever trying to talk to me again. I don't have anything to say to you anymore. You fucking cut me deep, and I don't know if I'll be able to trust you ever again. That's a good start, oh people. We need some stronger language there. I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust... No. Throw that shit out the window. I will not be able to trust you ever again. Goodbye forever, you fucking freeloading asshole. Ugh. Dad met with me at the office, and with the help of his master debating, we came to an understanding. I would pay my half, and they would take my name off the lease. This would mean that I wouldn't be responsible if M didn't pay his part, and he would be the only one to suffer for his stupid actions. And that should be the conclusion of the story again. But it isn't. Oh no! God damn it, OP, I was so proud of you. You see, unlike the conclusion of our other stories, I was now angry. Oh. I had been duped by the people that I trusted. I had been made a fool of, and I could just see them there, laughing at my stupidity. I didn't want stupid fucking closure. I wanted revenge. And so, revenge I would have. Oh God, it's gonna be so good! I'm excited now. Get me pumped. Stay tuned for part number 5, the conclusion of the Georgia Beard series, which is titled The Taking of the Meal Ticket. Once again, thanks for reading, and I hope that my past pain has brought you some entertainment. Oh, you found your balls, OP. You grabbed them and you said, look what I got right here. Oh, I can't wait for you to get revenge on these beards. They have taken you for so much money. And while part of me says, okay, whatever, let's let sleeping dogs lie, the other side, the vengeful side is like, yes, crush them both into dust. It's gonna be fucking beautiful. I'm so stoked, dude. I knocked OP in the middle of the story. I'm like, dude, come on, this is so frustrating. And then when I saw that there was another cliffhanger, I'm like, oh no, not this again. But yes, if you're going to turn their lives inside out, I am 100% on board. I cannot wait for it because it is sung in the style of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
Bringing Home a Stray Legbeard, Part 5, the taking of the meal ticket. Yes, some good old-fashioned revenge. I've been looking forward to this. Hey there, everybody. Big shout out to ReddX for reading part 1 and whatever parts he may read in the future. All of them. I've been watching a ton of his videos lately, and it has uncovered some memories that I had hoped would be lost forever. Well, sorry / you're welcome. I never had a word for this particular creature, but I suppose that she was indeed a Legbeard. A Legbeard who lived with my roommate and I for nearly 2 very long years. So, let's recap. But, as those who came before me so often have, I bring you a song recap. Uh-oh. In the style most grand, most fresh, some might say, because it is sung in the style of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh man, I wasn't ready for this one today. All right, we'll try it out. Boom, 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 boom. Well, this is a story all about how I flipped a bad situation upside down, so I'd like to invite you for a story so grand while I tell you how I shit on this Legbeard's plans. Boom, ba-bum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. In northern Georgia, newly moved, living in my apartment and finding my groove, gaming and working, existing so nice while still finding the time to roll a little dice when a stray Legbeard, with intentions most vile, planted herself inside my domicile. I ran one little fever and she got us thrown out, so my mom said, "You're moving back home, so don't pout." I packed up my stuff and I got out of there, and for a little bitty while everything was feeling so swell. I was doing quite fine until one day when I got invited to lunch and fed a line from a friend. I paid what I owed and was ready to chill when the old crib called and said I had outstanding bills. I settled up quick with the help of my dad, but the whole experience left me feeling so bad. So I started to fuss and I started to fume, and I planned on the means of their doom. That's how we've come to the end. The moment's at hand, so I'll enact my revenge on this Legbeard's brand. Boom, 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 boom. Well, that's a little less fresh than Willie Smith would deliver it, but we're gonna roll with that, I guess. Holy heck, I didn't expect another song parody, but I guess it's a thing now, so yeah, feel free. I'll try my best to deliver, even if it makes me look like an asshole, which I think that one really did. Sorry if it doesn't mesh. Rhymes are hard. Yeah, and so is rapping, apparently.
Goddamn.
For those of you not so into the songs, here's a recap in plain old words. My roommate moved in a Legbeard, GEORGIABEARD, who quickly filled our house with cats and terrible housekeeping. She paid for a trip to Florida, where we had all kinds of shenanigans. That was kinda nice. I got sick though after we got back, and I probably would have died if my mother hadn't come and taken me away from that situation. I moved out after finding out that I had been lied to and stolen from. I was then drugged back in with lies and thievery, mostly because I'm dumb, I guess. This led to my dad and my old roommate's dad having to settle up for us so it didn't affect our credit, and I basically told these two that we were fucking through. All caught up? Alright then, let's go! Song parody out of the way and everything. This is part number 5 of the Stray Legbeard saga, The Taking of the Meal Ticket. If you aren't caught up, here's parts 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Wow, that's a lot of parts! And let's revisit the cast just for good measure. Iru, that's me, DOP, 22-year-old guy at the start of all this, 23 at the time that it's all going on, moved to Georgia, moved my old roommate to Georgia, currently working a dead-end job that at least paid well, and enjoying a fresh start. Recently left the cat-infested apartment and struck out away from my roommate and his extremely toxic Legbeard girlfriend. Recently had a large sum of money stolen over the course of a few weeks and is rightly pissed about that. M, roommate, best friend, question mark. Maybe just a little bit neckbeardy himself, but he's like a brother to me, so we cut him a lot of slack. Probably too much fucking slack. He's a good guy, he just has terrible taste in women, something that hasn't changed even to this day. Newly evicted and living with Georgia Beard and her parents, who are full-blown cave trolls. He's lied, he has cheated, but he is not without his redemption. God damn it, OP. You're kinder than I am, that's what I'll say. Georgia Beard is GB. Hoarder of kittens, terrible housekeeper, teller of lies, major manipulator, scum of the earth, terrible, terrible fucking human being. I hope there is poop residue in the bottom of every cup that she ever drinks from, and she finds herself wed to a full-blown neckbeard. Preferably Wheezybeard, but I'm not picky. Jesus, I think Wheezybeard has a wife named Bubba in prison. Oh, so the story continues. I sat in my upstairs room, my debts repaid, and my friends excommunicated from my life. But not really, because then the saga would truly be over. I'm just waiting for them to make their fucking grand entrance. I was now free of Georgia Beard and her shenanigans. I was free of M and all of his lies. I was finally out from under all of it. I had blocked all of them on social media, blocked their numbers in my phone, and blocked M on World of Warcraft. I told the guild members what was going on, and they agreed that his actions were unacceptable. They asked if I wanted him kicked from the guild, but I didn't. He had technically gotten me into the guild, and I just didn't want to deal with him. I refused to raid with him, and I thought that that was the end of the situation. But you're both still in the same guild? Bruh, kick him right now. I ain't got time for this shit. But it wasn't the end, you see? I'm shocked. The whole situation infuriated me the longer that I thought about it. Georgia Beard had stolen about $3,500 from me. She had stolen my best friend. She had used me. And I was fucking pissed. Where did this bitch get off? How the hell did she think it was okay to treat people like this? Also, I was a little upset with M about how he had treated me. The two of us had been friends since middle school, and the thought that he could slip this far really did hurt my feelings. Then I got a message from him on World of Warcraft. Oh, god damn it. Now, I knew how to block his character, but I didn't know how to block his account. Ugh. M was one of those power gamers who had a character for every situation, so he had about 7 characters at various levels. He messaged me on another character while I was online and said that he wanted to talk. Right-click, ignore, situation over. Go ahead, log on to another character. I will do this with all 7 or whatever of his characters. I don't give a fuck. But OP, again, a nicer guy than me. He said,
He felt terrible about what happened, and he wanted to explain himself.
Bye, Felicia. Not today. At first, I was hesitant. I didn't want to get pulled back into this crap again.
Oh, don't do it, OP.
I worried that this was a trap, and it would let Georgia Beard get her hooks into me again. I did not want to talk to him, but I was hurting, so I listened to him. He swore that she didn't know that we were talking, which I truly doubted, but I agreed to speak with him and at least hear him out.
My impotent rage cannot be contained.
Why would you give him this opportunity? Over means over. Done. Finito. Get the fuck out. God damn it. We talked a lot through text for the next few days. Why? And though I didn't believe all of it, a lot of it did jive with what I had suspected. There was no trust fund. There never had been a trust fund. Just a loose net of people that she took advantage of online. Yeah, including you. You are the trust fund, OP. Don't let it happen again, god damn it. let's just take a little segue here so I can let you peek behind the curtains. GeorgiaBeard was part of a good many subscription services, none of which she was paying for. She had made a friend, you see, years before she met us, and she would use that friend to pay for certain things in exchange for tasteful nudes or services. God damn, is that worth paying for though? Pornhub's just right over there. It's like 2 clicks away. One in particular. We will call this new player Doug, because I saw a picture of him once and he does look like a morbidly obese Doug Funny.
Doug Funny.
You're bringing it all back to me, man. I wonder what Doug's up to these days. Mr. Dink's probably dead. God damn. It turns out that Doug had recently cut GeorgiaBeard off, so she befriended this fine fellow and convinced him that she had feelings for him and that they could date. M was quite aware that he paid for her WoW subscription, but not that she sent him tasteful nudes and even had phone sex with him sometimes. Jesus Christ. M's getting played too, man. You can't let it be like that. Well, at some point, she had weaseled a copy of Doug's credit card from him
For emergencies.
Well, apparently our vacation was a fucking emergency because she was spending it up. She was only supposed to spend $500, but she had spent something like $1,500, and Doug rightfully had gotten angry about this. When she wouldn't return his calls, he had reported the card stolen, and this had led to the current situation in Florida. She had then reached out to Doug and said something to him, although what she said was never found out, but it was enough to get him to call the police and tell them that a simple mistake had been made. So with no crime, they released her and the vehicle after she cleared it up with the rental car company. God damn, she is the worst. I mean, I got no love for M or OP even at this point. But GeorgiaBeard, irredeemable. She had told M all of this when they had gone off that day after she'd been released, telling him not to tell me because
I would think less of her.
was less than 0. He told me this and many other things. Many of these things are the reason that we are still friends, and I didn't just completely cut him off and leave him to his fate. You see, M was the linchpin to her current scam. She had been using M to extort money from his parents. Oh, fucking A, dude. It just gets worse and worse. Like, does this woman have no shame? That's a rhetorical question. Don't answer that. So, neither her nor her parents worked, and so, to pay for things, GeorgiaBeard would get M's dad to send them money for
School expenses.
M was planning to attend college, but GeorgiaBeard had already told him that
Most of the money he got from Pal or scholarships would be going to household bills and keeping her in whatever she wanted.
she took any money that he got and he had to start selling his stuff and basically just held a place to stay over his head. Why can't he go back with the parents if he's going to college? What the hell, dude? You're letting yourself get played like a fiddle by this fucking Legbeard? Come on, man. GeorgiaBeard.
Eru's cut you off. His parents probably hate you now too. Where else do you have to go? If your dad learns that you've been taking the money and not spending it on school, he'll disown you. You have no options. And once we're married, I'll own half of your stuff anyways.
Yeah, married.
That's never gonna happen.
Jesus Christ. She had basically given him Stockholm Syndrome, and after the shit with the apartment, he kind of snapped out of it and realized that he was being used. Hello? Think, McFly! That wasn't even the worst part, though. When we'd moved to Georgia, M had been a healthy 250 pounds. He wasn't an active guy, and a lot of that was fat, though he was never really obese. When they had gotten together, he had put on a little more weight since they ate out a lot, When I had moved out, he was still pretty heavy. GeorgiaBeard still cooking for us about twice a week and taking him to eat out a lot. Somehow, and I had missed this during my infrequent visits, but she had been starving him when he lived with her parents. M.
Sometimes I only get to eat once a day, and sometimes just a bowl of cereal or a small sandwich. I drink a lot of water and just try to ignore it.
OP. But there's always food in the house. I've seen it every time that I'm there. M.
Well, her parents eat, and you've seen the size of them. And then she eats. I get a little, but if I'm not quick enough, the cats get into it before I get there.
It's like the most dysfunctional wolf pack you've ever seen. Ugh.
They always just say to eat around it, but the floors are filthy, dude. Once the cats have their feet in it, I can't fucking eat that food. They never put anything in the fridge either. It's always just eat it before it becomes the cats.
Becomes the cats. Oh, God. I got a lot of thoughts about it, but I'm going to hold most of them back because we have learned a lot about the abuse mindset over the past few stories that we've done. Abuse does happen to men as well as women. I would love to see M make his own way out of this, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen because it has gotten this fucking bad and he still hasn't done anything about it. So all I can really say is bless you, OP. M should be so fucking grateful for you because I would have cut both of them off. Nope, nothing, never talking again. But OP, he's a good guy. As much as I give him shit for going back and listening to this sob story, he is a good guy. And I do assume that he helped M GTFO of this freaking Legbeard nest. He had apparently lost over 80 pounds, and his clothes just hung off of him. How the hell had I not noticed this? I had been so mad at him for lying to me, but I'd never noticed that he was hurting too. I had been a bad friend, and though I was not the worst culprit here, I was already planning a way to spite this bitch and save my friend. See? OP too good for this world. I take back everything I said. You're an angel. The cavalry has arrived. Let's crush this fucking Legbeard into dust. Every time I remembered her talking about
His pal check,
or joking about
asking his dad for money,
it started to make my blood boil. I spent a few days making arrangements and laying plans before I finally acted. I invited M out to lunch. Just M. OP. If she comes out, I will refuse to go. Just you and I will have lunch. We need to discuss some things. GeorgiaBeard, of course, didn't like it. Hungry bitch. But M finally put his foot down, and we managed to go to lunch without her. Not, however, without some drama, of course. The first time M came out, she waited on the porch and told me that
she wanted to talk.
I refused. I do not want to talk to her. Suddenly, someone was yanking on my car door and trying to climb in my front seat. If I hadn't remembered to lock the doors, she would have then been in my car, and who knows what would have happened that day. This is why even dudes should carry around a little thing of pepper spray. She hops in the passenger seat, you're like, no, bad. A lesson hard learned, I do think. She might have talked me into being her friend again. Oh, God. That's double the reason for pepper spray. She might have made excuses and somehow snaked her way back into my life. God damn, OP, you need to keep that stiff upper lip. Once you make your mind up, just shut him out. Shut him down. I do appreciate you going back to save M, but holy hell. The fact that she might have talked you into being her friend again, that ain't no good. Thankfully, we will never know, though, because after some time, she just screamed in frustration, "Wee!" and stomped back into the house, trailer, whatever it was. To my displeasure, M followed her. The second time he came out, He begged me to go and talk to her, but I was having none of that shit. OP, get in the car, or I'm driving away and never coming back. To my surprise, he got in. I took him to the place where life-changing meals are eaten, the Waffle House. God damn, I miss Waffle House. I see the Waffle House in the Philippines. I ordered him as much food as he wanted and finally got a good look at him. His face was gaunt, and he had an extremely emaciated look about him. His clothes were dirty, and I could honestly smell him even from where I was sitting. On top of that, he just looked bad. He looked hungry, and he looked uncared for, but he also just really looked dejected and sad, and like depression was quite literally eating him up. As mad as I was at him still, I couldn't stand to see him looking like that. And so I asked him if he was honestly happy. M?
Not really, but I don't see a way out.
OP? What if I offered you one? M?
I don't see how you could.
OP? You're in a mess right now, but I want to help you. She's killing you, dude. You're not getting enough food, you're fucking depressed, and your body probably isn't very healthy living in that kind of squalor. Let me take you back home. Pack what you can pack, and let me drive you back to Florida. You can stay with your mom until you get back on your feet. M?
Great idea, but I don't have money to pay for gas or food or anything.
I rolled my eyes at him. Did I ask you if you had money? You're still my bro, and bros help each other. Oh man, this kind of bromance. This is that type of shit that you love to see in a Neckbeard story. From the most disgusting trash heap blooms the most beautiful flower. I really do mean it, OP. You are such a good person for going back and really, quite literally, probably saving this dude's life. I stand firm that I probably would have blocked him on everything and just let him go down that path, but I don't know if that would be the right choice. Stepping back and taking a look at everything as you have. When M looked up at me, I kinda thought he was gonna start crying. We called the police and got an officer there to help us move his things out because I suspected there would be a shitstorm. Now, nothing against police officers. I work in corrections. I'm down for struggle. I understand that their job is hard and they just do the best that they can. All due respect, this officer that they sent was bitch-made. She clearly did not take what we were doing seriously. She spent 5 minutes in the house before having to flee to the porch. I mean, I do get that. It fucking reeked in there, but come on and do your job. She just treated the whole thing like it was a big joke. She let GEORGIABEARD keep about 90% of M's stuff. In the end, we only got about 2 outfits, a pair of socks, shoes, his computer, 2 Magic the Gathering decks, and about half of his manga collection, and pretty much told them that they would have to settle anything else in court. What the hell? That is so weird, dude. You should have asked for her badge number. Report her to the station. Look, this chick ain't doing her job, not taking it seriously. Again, absolute respect for the uniform, but thanks, Officer Bitchmaid, for making an awkward situation even worse. My friend made it out of his abusive relationship and is doing much better. Not that you fucking care. Ugh. If nothing else, I hope that you called the ASPCA about that trailer, or elder care, or something, because you sure as shit didn't do anything for us. I guarantee she didn't do any of those things. She's just like, more paperwork. I'm not gonna do any of that. Get your crap and let's go. But yeah, just like anybody else, police officers run the gamut. There's good ones, there's bad ones, there's ones that care way too much, and there's ones that don't give a shit at all. So I think we know which one you got. As much as I was glad that M got out of there, I hope that someone gave those animals a good home. The cats were all just rail thin, a lot of them had conjunctivitis, and I had actually seen dead cats inside of the trailer. The dogs looked in better shape, but I think they had an easier time defending their food. The fleas in that apartment, ugh, fuck, were like a freaking cloud. And I know that the ones she brought to the apartment had worms. Jesus, wormy, flea-covered carpet. Oh, God, I just cringed so hard my soul left my body. That is so horrifying. They were a nuisance, but I do hope that the cats got the help that they needed too. Oh, fuck, man. That is so heavy, OP. As we put the stuff into the car, she called him onto the porch, and I thought that I was probably about to lose this little empowerment play. He told me later that she had basically admitted that all of it was a lie. The nursing degree, the trust fund, which he knew, the babies, the house they'd been planning to buy, but not her love.
God!
Yeah, right. She loved him, and she wanted him to stay. If he stayed, then yeah, he's irredeemable, but it's pretty clear that he wanted the hell out just as bad as she did. She's like, maybe we could build our own neckbeard nest together, and he's like,
Yeah, I don't think so, bitch.
they can rebuild their relationship and start over. She just didn't want to lose him. Thankfully, he told her, fuck no, and got in the car. Probably the smartest move that he ever made. Thank God for that, dude. I took him back to my parents' house, let him shower somewhere that wasn't covered in black mold, washed his clothes, and let him talk about it. He was torn, an emotional wreck. I got him some leftovers and just let him talk it out. He probably has had enough leftovers, but at least a cat hasn't been digging through this one. You wouldn't have thought he'd been hungry after a whole Waffle House All-Star all to himself, but old boy was fucking starving. She kept trying to call him, but I finally asked him to give me his cell phone, and I hung on to it so he wouldn't be tempted. He used mine and called his dad, letting him know about what had happened and apologizing profusely. His dad, as good dads are, was a good sport about it, though I think he actually tried to take GEORGIABEARD to court before realizing that you can't get blood from a fucking turnip. I don't need money, man. I'll take some literal blood from this turnip head bitch. That's fine. Unfortunately, his dad said, yeah, it was fine, and thanked me for getting M the hell out of there. Then he called his mom and told her basically the same thing. They cried a bit. His mom thanked me, and this honestly makes me tear up as I write it, told me that I was officially a part of their family. I was welcomed at their house anytime, and their doors would never be closed to me. They never had been, but it still makes me feel teary writing about it. I've told you guys that Mama M was like a second mother to me, and hearing her say it made everything that I had went through worth it. Alright, but was it worth it to your dad, though? Because he's the one that's out of pocket $3,000. I'm just playing with you, dude. I'm glad that it turned out the way it did, honestly. I asked if he wanted to sleep once he was done. My parents had like 3 guest rooms, and he said, yeah, he wanted a little nap before he started our trip. And he's lost his neckbeard voice, isn't that magic? 4 hours later, we hit the road. I don't remember everything that happened on the way there. He slept some more, we laughed about old times, we talked about his pain and discussed what he would do. He finally blocked her number and started changing his password so she couldn't hack his accounts. He sent her one last text basically telling her to never contact him again. And then he blocked her across the board. Yeah. It was like a little party when he got home, and his family gathered around to support him. His family, like mine, could be a little dysfunctional sometimes. Whose can't? And I always marveled at their ability to gather close and gain strength from each other. They made me feel like a part of that closeness, and I was told again how grateful they were that M had a friend like me. You are a fucking amazing friend, OP. When the chips are down, old Red, he'll walk away. But OP, he's in it for the long haul, and there's something to be said about that. A stronger person than I, definitely. I stayed for a few days, but had to get back to work. I spent the next few months trying to get back on good terms with Cloud and Ren and all those other friends that she had pushed away, mostly so they could tell me if she tried to claw her way back in. Ren is about the best guy that I know. He's my best friend, and it is a crime that I don't spend more time with him. And Cloud forgave M for the way he had been treated. He actually did pay him back some of the money that he owed him too, so M had a little bit of cash while he got back on his feet. She did, of course, try to claw her way back in a few times, but we were all there for M to keep him strong, and eventually, she just stopped. God damn. I was really hoping that this would blow up in her face, get some fireworks, but I guess we just have to be grateful that everybody got out of the situation okay, or no worse for the wear, or most accurately of all, that they escaped it. Just escaped, period. There are definitely some physical and mental effects from this, but man, that's a lesson hard learned. And the prologue, my last encounter with the beard. Uh-oh, maybe it's not too late for vengeance. Fast forward 8 years. I'm in my early 30s with a family of my own. I married the ex that I talked about earlier. We're actually coming up on our 10th wedding anniversary. Hey, congratulations, OP. And we could not be happier. We have a young son. I guess he was about 10 at the time, and my parents had taken all of us on vacation to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. If you've never been, it's a lot of fun. We usually stay in Gatlinburg and pop between the towns. 1, your son is so lucky to have a dad like you. 2, I've never been too interested in going to Tennessee, but I know Ramtide popped around down there playing folk punk for a little while. Kinda told me about it, says it's a cool music scene, so hey, maybe someday. So we're in Dollywood, the redneck Disneyland of the South, and we're having a blast. We're coming off a water ride, heading for a coaster, when suddenly I smell something familiar. You know how you just commit certain smells to memory, whether you want to or not? Well, I will never be able to forget the smell of Father Beard. That gangrenous, rotten, diarrhea in your pants smell, that hung around him will forever be seared into my memory. I smell it and immediately turn to look in the direction that the wind is blowing from. And that is when I see them. Oh, God. They're all 3 in those power chair motor scooters, probably even heavier than the last time I saw them, and all smoking like chimneys in the nearby smoking area. Bro, their stank outstank the cigarettes. I gotta be at least a little impressed. There's also a wiry little guy with him who looks like a ferret dipped in Crisco. And of course, GEORGIABEARD is cooing at him and looking more like a beached whale every passing day. She looked exactly the same, just fatter. And I knew right then that I did not want her to see me. I steered them onto a ride as quick as I could. My wife asked what the hell was going on. As we waited in line, I told her what I had seen. The horror! And then I had to stop wifey from going over there to tip the power chair over. My wife is a Taurus with no chill, and I love her to pieces for it. We didn't see him for the rest of the day, thank God. It's a big park, and I imagine they got tired easily, even on their little scooters. But that was thankfully the last encounter that I had with GEORGIABEARD, and I pray that I will never see her lardy ass ever again. Thanks for reading, friends. I hope my pain has brought you some joy. This is the end of our GEORGIABEARD saga, but it's far from the only beard that I've ever known. There's still one other beard lurking in this story, though I guess he's kinda like a hybrid neckbeard / nice guy. His adventures happened before GEORGIABEARD and after, and his hijinks could only have their own special place in some tabletop horror stories too. Maybe if you like, I'll tell you about Vampire Beard one day. But for now, I'm tired, and I leave the land of the bearded for at least a little while. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and if you like non-neckbeard related horror, come check out my profile, and maybe my YouTube if you'd like. No pressure. Until next time, this is Eru. Ow! coming to you live from Neckbeard Stories, reading out the truth, no matter how bad it hurts. Well, not quite the explosive ending that I had hoped for, but there is a sweet kernel of beard redemption in there, and I gotta be thankful for that. You know, M really could have gone a bad way. I don't know if he would end up hurting himself or just completely falling apart, but I definitely have to give OP props for standing strong, hearing the guy out, and basically saving him from himself. As for the fireworks that I was expecting with GEORGIABEARD, that bit of beard vengeance that I was so looking forward to, it didn't happen. Although, I think that GEORGIABEARD has inflicted quite enough pain on herself. You see him rolling around Dollywood, probably on that skinny weasel-looking guy's dime, looking like they're having a good time, but you know, at the end of the day, they're going to go back to a maggoty, worm-filled carpet with a cloud of flies and fleas and... Ugh! Isn't that punishment enough that they have to just continue existing as they are? Jesus Christ. Definitely a heavier story. Not the heaviest that we've seen, but the themes of friendship really did make me well up just a little bit, you know? I haven't got many friends in this world, but the ones that I do, I hold them pretty tight, despite what I might say. If Ramtide ended up screwing me out of a little bit of money, then, you know, I'd probably just let bygones be bygones, because at this moment in time, he needs it more than me, and even when he had very little, he was willing to share it with me. So, yeah, I could see just seeing past it and wanting to save him from himself. I'm glad life is going well for you, OP. Bless that wifey, bless them kids, you know. And I definitely hope that M's life is going well as well. We didn't really get much of him in the prologue, which is unfortunate, but I guess no news is good news. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I hope that you guys enjoyed this series. It was twisty, turny, and really delicious. I hope that you guys will like, comment, and or subscribe if you did indeed enjoy it. Maybe share the video around. Maybe wait for the compilation to come out in a month or two and then you can share that one around. It's whatever you want to do, you know? It's your life. I can't live it for you. I do hope that you'll check out some of them links in the description, though. Yes, indeed, we got my social medias. Oh, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, come on through. Say hello. We've got playlists if you're looking for a little different flavor from the channel. And, of course, we've got a bunch of plugs and stuff. My Teespring, if you're trying to rock the merch, we are working on some new t-shirts, which is pretty cool. My Amazon affiliate link. If you buy something on Amazon, then I get kicked back a little bit of cash if you use that link. We've also got mine and my wife's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX. Super cool stuff going on there. And, of course, my personal subreddit, r/ReddXReads. Oh, and I would be loath to forget my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I would like to thank them all, as I do every video. But especially Robert Waits, Baron Von Waggy Pants, River, TSM Kirby, USMC, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Candy Sora, Cinnamon Susie, Fatboy Shrimp, Fire Drake, Gigglebot, Latin, Livison, Mr. Anime Manga Fan, Murek, Silent Revolver, Zero MMX, Magdalene Marshall, Thornrose, Captain Clown Show, Cherish Kitsune, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Rouse Tower, Satori, Anunnaki, Asian Persuasion Station. Hey, I've been there for quite a few years. That's a new face. Definitely appreciate you subbing up. Welcome to the fold. Babs and Coon, Caustic Fox, Dinosaur, Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Fisher, Diggy, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, a pimp named J Crisp, JM Coon, Jerry, John Hero, Simboofa, cause if you boof it, it's free, Miss Monday, Lexi Loves Jojo, Lord Lionel, Lori Ellis, Jackets Rule, Melgar the Destroyer, Mirthful Baker, Mr. J's 10-ton turd, my boy Nat One Nick, Lady Nick, Sorgamy Steve, Phantom of the Pines, Katikins Elizabeth, Sidestep Puggy, Rosemary Miller, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ass, Siegfried Staples, Yeet, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Ferret, Teddy the Police, That Duck and Bug, The One True Fusky, Treeberg, Wilmac, Zero Blacktail, Kira M, Kitsikin, Redwind, Goose Says Honk, Leon Embers, Naga Viper, Saints Blessing, John Indoors, A Normal Joe, Amara, A-Roxers, Banish Knight, Barbuscas, Irradiated Jam, Cake Jerry, That's a Different Jerry! California Keto Girl, Chris Meska, Cinnamon Bunny Dog, Defon, Ghost of Alpha, KJW Kajau, Crafty Kitty Cat, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, Mark 211, maybe next time, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Organic Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, Raptor, Spoonie the Rogue, Steampunk Ellie, The Last Shinobi, and the Necronomicon. Hot damn, that list is so crazy long. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to figure out what I could do for all these patrons to shorten it up a little bit, make the video duration tighter, but whatever. YouTube seems to be pushing the content out there anyways, so maybe it's just fine. I don't know. If I can figure out something fun to do and engineer it correctly, then I will do it. Anywho, I do thank you guys so much for the Patreon support. I honestly do hope that some other people will sign up, but if you can't afford to do so right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like, watching some more ReddX videos. Do it.
Do it! Just do it!
Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely, definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. And until then, friends, bye-bye.